And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
Thursday morning's flying weather showing area of IFR here across the southern Bering Sea that extends down into Adak westward to Amchitka, Kiska Islands. Marginal VFR north of that area through the Bering Strait, and that links up with another area of IFR from the Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast. As you can see, south of the mountains there, VFR over all of the interior, right on down until you get to Prince William Sound and the North Gulf Coast, and it's back into marginal VFR. You see VFR from Cook Inlet right down across Fognac Island, Kodiak Island marginal, and the southeast coast, VFR. And for the afternoon, marginal VFR rolls into the Panhandle with IFR up around Lynn Canal Glacier Bay westward to Yakutat, marginal VFR here for the North Gulf Coast into Prince William Sound, and Cook Inlet into the southern Susitna Valley tomorrow afternoon, VFR, but southern Cook Inlet across Kodiak Island, marginal, and stays VFR here north of Bristol Bay all the way up to the Brooks Range and eastward into Canada, with again the IFR hung up along the Brooks Range there out to the Arctic coast, and a patch of IFR here over the southeast Bering Sea that passes over the Aleutians as it moves in over the Alaska Peninsula. Otherwise, marginal VFR for the remainder of the Aleutian chain. And for Friday morning, this area of IFR holds here over the southeast Bering down into Umak Island, eastward into the Alaska Peninsula. More IFR again, the Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast. Southern areas looking, or south of the Brooks Range, northern interior into the areas of the central part of the state here, north of the Alaska Range, back out to the west. VFR, marginal for St. Lawrence Island, marginal for most of the Aleutians, and marginal for Kodiak Island, up into Cook Inlet, and marginal VFR all across the Gulf of Alaska that covers a good portion of the Copper River Basin. IFR to start the day there for the southeast coast, breaks up a little bit in the afternoon, but still some considerable IFR over the inside waters, and a narrow band here right along the North Gulf Coast range. Otherwise, VFR Susitna Valley, Cook Inlet, marginal elsewhere for south central Alaska. Central interior here, good VFR right up to the Brooks Range with the lower conditions again for the North Slope and eastern Arctic coast. Some areas of IFR there. And mostly marginal out over the Bering Sea and the Aleutians with some breaks of VFR in some locations. And for the passes for the Brooks Range tomorrow and the Tuvik and Anigan, expect IFR flying conditions, especially on the northern entrances of both passes. Lake Clark and Merrill, marginal VFR, marginal for rainy, and going for a marginal VFR day for windy pass as well. But then IFR for Isabel, IFR for Mentasta, and for Tanita, starting out marginal, becoming VFR, trending toward VFR throughout the day. And Portage should be VFR the entire day, while Chilkoot and White will be looking at IFR flying conditions there. And for the freezing levels, about 6,000 feet here over most of the interior into the Panhandle, a little cooler up to the north there, maybe 2,000 feet over the western Brooks Range and North Slope areas, and out to the west about 4,000 feet or so here over the central Bering Sea, 6,000 feet just south of the Aleutians. And taking a look at the icing chart, we've got an area of considerable moderate rime icing here sliding into Bristol Bay right up into the southern Kuskokwim Valley area, possibly Iliamna Lake. Another patch up there over the North Slope, and some isolated moderate rime icing here for the coastal areas of Panhandle up into the northern areas, and that covers much of the Gulf of Alaska, Copper River Basin, right up to the Alaska Range. And for the jet stream here, we've got good jet here just skirting the Aleutians, 145 knots there. Goes off the chart, reappears here, and we've got southwesterlies blowing across the Gulf right into the Panhandle up to 95 knots. And for the 9,000 foot winds, southwesterlies 45 in across the Panhandle, lighter here over the interior, catching some westerlies up to 40 knots there over the northeast interior, over toward the border in conjunction with this low, while that pulls northerlies at 35 knots down on the backside of that over the eastern Arctic coast. And out to the west, 40 to 50 knots, mostly south of the Aleutians. And at 9,000 feet, 35 to 40 knot winds blowing around this low here over the southeast Bering Sea north of the Fox Islands. Light over the interior all the way up to the Arctic coast. Another low pressure area here tracking eastward brings an increase in the winds again at the lower elevations here to the Panhandle, up to 40 knots there, turning around to the east across Middleton Island at about the same speed. Turbulence-wise, with those stronger winds here, look for moderate turbulence, considerable moderate turbulence there for the northern and central southeast coastal areas up to about Yakutat, and light to isolated moderate here across the North Gulf Coast and Prince William Sound. Also over toward Barter Island and Kaktovik into Mackenzie River Bay, and light to isolated moderate turbulence here for the central eastern Aleutians right into the Alaska Peninsula.